So yeah, nothing real special here. It's just 5 iPhones, right? Isn't iPhone a really popular brand of phone now? Everybody in the world's got them. Well, to me, these 5 iPhones represent something a little bit different. Let's talk about that. Hey, there's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're doing good. And this is part of my little keep growing your business, growing yourself. And I know I'm a little bit late. It's springtime, and we are absolutely wide open here in town working. So I'm trying to get this out weekly to you. Sometimes it may be a little late, so I apologize for that. As it slows down, it gets hotter. They'll be a little more consistent. But anyway, talk about these 5 iPhones and what in the heck has this got to do with growing a business? Well, when I started my company 15 years ago, one-man show. I think you know that by now. And it took me 2 to 3 years, 2.5 years or so, to actually generate enough revenue to actually consider hiring an employee. Now, before we go any further, if you have the mindset that you want to be a one-man show, by all means, roll with it. I'm proud of you for doing that. There's a lot of respect I have for the one-man show guys, and hey, that's cool. Do your thing. But if you are striving to have something more, something with employees and growing the company and expanding your brand and expanding your name and your services, there's going to be a point to where you're going to have to hire your first employee. And I did that about 2.5 years into my business. And I'm going to be honest with you and open. I'm a control freak. I like my hands on things that happen in my business. And it was incredibly difficult for me to give up that control. Of course, this employee worked side by side with me for a year or so while I was training him and teaching him what I do in yards so that he would reflect me. And it come time, it got to a point to where it was too much work for both of us to do together. We had to split up. I had to go one way, he had to go the other way. And I had to trust him to do that. And I had control issues. I really did. I wanted to watch over his back, call him every 2 seconds and say, did you do this? Did you forget to do that? Man, don't forget to do that. And I know it drove him bananas, because it drove my wife bananas. And she was really a big inspiration in me turning loose and trusting this other person that I took the time with, and I hired him and I trained him. But I had to let go of that control issue I had and say, hey, I trust you to do this work that I'm paying you to do. Okay? So that's kind of where the whole me letting go of the control issue. Now, where these 5 iPhones come into play is pretty cool. Because now I've learned that when I hire a trustworthy employee and I have a relationship with that employee, I begin to trust them and know them and learn them and respect them. I trust them to go out and do the work that I set aside for them to do. Well, as the next step of growing that business and growing my company, I need to give even more control to these employees, because it's to the point now to where I can't physically talk to the hundreds of customers. I have to delegate that to the crew leaders, and that's how we're going to continue growing now. And so each of our crew leaders will get a phone. And this guy is it's almost like he's going to have his own little micro mini business within my business. I'm going to introduce him to all his clients. which I mean they're my clients, but everybody on his route. And the little simple day-to-day things like, hey, can you mow on this day? Or hey, can you do this over here next week? They're going to manage all this so that it frees me up. I get another level of freedom simply by giving out another level of trust or another level of responsibility to the employees. And then this guy right here is going to get the same thing, and this guy's going to hit the same thing, and so is this guy, and so is this guy. So now I've got 5 Petes, well 6 Petes, 5 and me 6, answering the phone. And these guys are going to manage their route and their little account community, if you may. And so that's just another level of me giving up the control. And the point of this video is, hey, if you plan on having employees, first of all, you hire a good, trustworthy employee, okay? You might take you a while to find that guy or that gal. Second of all, you train them correctly. And third of all, when you get to the point, don't be scared to let go. Because it is absolutely blown my mind away that when you give a person some responsibility, there's something in them that kind of makes them want to go like, yeah, I can do this. So when you put that weight on their shoulder, they will prove themselves to you. I assure you. I have a whole slew of guys that they do it day in and day out. They over and over and over prove to me that they can handle the responsibility I give them. And see, this is another step. It'll take us about a year to really get this implemented real good and get it working real good. But I have no doubt in my mind that these 5 crew leaders are going to absolutely knock this out of the park. So hey, this also reminds me of, I've been a Christian for 24 years. Around when I was about 21, 22, that's when I gave my life to God. And about the first 5 years of that, I made a lot of changes in my life. But about 5 years into my faith, that's when I realized, and it's kind of weird, it's funny too, because that was about the same time, roughly, maybe a little bit later after that, but about the same time I had these control issues in the beginning. I learned that I can't even get out of the bed without that oxygen God supplies me. I learned that Pete isn't in control of life. And when I finally grasped that concept that God has laid out for us, my life drastically changed. When I said, all right, Jesus, this is about you. This is your life. You do with it what you want to. And I will keep my eyes open and my ears peeled, waiting for your command. And when that happened, my life changed drastically. I cannot tell you that how good God is. So hey, those 2 kind of things just kind of related there. And hey, trust those employees. Get you a good one out there. Hey, thank you for watching. Have a great day.